Hi students, good morning again. So in the previous video we have seen the definition of resources, the classification of resources, different types of resources, basically natural resources, human-made resources, and the human as a resource, and their classification on the basis of their exhaustibility, on the basis of origin, on the basis of their level of development, on the basis of stocks. These kind of things we have seen in the previous videos, and let's complete the chapter. So from the very beginning of the chapter, we have to start with the human made resources. So I just want to quickly remind you the things. Resources are anything that can be used by us to satisfy our needs. So we have seen natural resources till now. Now human made resources. Yes, we are human beings. We do have many requirements and we use many things to satisfy our needs. If we want to go away, then we can use scooty, bicycle, car. And if we have to go far away places, then we can use planes. So these are the human made resources, the things which are made by the human beings to satisfy their needs. Basically we take the things from nature and the original form has been changed properly, and we can just have a new thing. We can cut it down the trees and we can just give them the shape of a table and chair, doors. Okay, so the resources which are made by the human beings to satisfy their needs, fans, table, chair, mobile phones, cameras, AC, cars, these kind of things are basically buildings, bridges, roads, machinery. Also at the end of that slide you can say technology is also a human made resource. So these are the human made resources. Third and the most important one, human as a resource. We all are human beings, but we all are not human resource. Just listen the statement carefully, students. We all are human beings, but we all are not human resources. When we become human resource, and what are the things to make us into a human resource? Let me tell you a few things. First, understand that thing. It is the human beings that make the best use of nature to create more resources. An example is there. Air was earlier there also, but it was human beings that just applied his knowledge that yes, we can make the use of the air, we can make windmills, and we can generate electricity. So human beings applied their skill, knowledge, technology and turned the air into a resource. In the same way, water was floating in the rivers and finally it just made to the sea. But we have seen that it is the human beings which make the dams and generating the electricity with the help of water. Yes, air, water, land. Land was earlier available also, but we were not producing anything from it. But we apply our skill and we started agricultural activities. So these are the things which make human being as a super resource, most important resource from all. Because all other resources are having no importance, not they cannot be a resource by their own. It is human being which make them a resource. And which things are required here to turn the things into a resource? It is given here: education, health, training. These are the things which turn a person into a human resource. Yes, definitely, if your parents will invest in your education, in your health, and finally when you just got the education and you're healthy enough, and then they will invest in your training period also, then you will turn into a resource. Definitely. People's skill has to be developed to create more and more human resource development. Without training, without proper health facilities, without education, we can't have good human resource. We can just have an example of Japan. It is a country with almost no natural resources. Many resources are not found there. But they have invested so much in the human development resources. They have given the importance to the education to their citizen. They have just given the importance to the healthcare facilities. They have given the importance to the training, that Japan has developed or emerged as the developed country of the world. So we need to invest in education, health and training to make more and more human resources. Now comes on conserving the resources. Yes, if I will use any particular resource for long period of time without any planning, what will happen? The resource will be ending soon. So we need to use the resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed. We need to conserve them. So conservation is required. So what is conserving resources? Resource conservation is asked many times in your examination. Resource conservation is using the resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called resource conservation. Now, what is the sustainable development? It is also very important concept, and we can see that various institutions which talk about the sustainable development concept. UNO, MUN. You must be listening the word. MOC, United Nations. The burning topic is sustainable development. How can we do development activities without damaging the environment, without sacrificing, the needs of the future generations? What is sustainable development? It is development without damaging the environment and development not at the cost of future generations. Balancing the need to use resources and also conserve them for future is called sustainable development. Students, we people are able to use the resources in our environment because our forefathers used the resources carefully, and if we want that our future generations will also use the resources, then we must be careful in using the resources. This is a concept of sustainable development. If we want to use wood, we can cut the trees, but we need to plant more trees. This is sustainable development, so that whenever in future we will require the trees or wood, then they should be available. It should not be like that ki I need to do development activities and I am recklessly cutting down the trees. No, it should not be there. We should give something to the nature, then nature will give us something. It is very important, the concept of sustainable development. And we can go for the 3R formulas. We can recycle the things, we reuse the things and reduce the things, use of the things. Each person can contribute by reducing consumption, recycling and reusing things. Let's see, in our book 6 principles are given at the end of the chapter. Okay, what are the principles of sustainable development? Yes, respect and care for all forms of life. It is insects or animals or trees, plants. We must respect them. We should not carelessly cut them, or we should use them properly. Yes, we have to improve the quality of the human life. But at the same time, we have to protect the nature also. Conserve the earth's vitality and diversity. Yes, it is very important. We need to conserve. If you see, if we will not be careful about our nature, then nature in return give us drastic results. You can see floods, you can see the cyclones. There are many other things which earth is giving us in return. Means we need to balance, we need to make a balance between development and nature. We must minimize the depletion of natural resources. Yes, natural resources are very important. You must know the fact that there should be 33% of the total area of the country in the form of forest. But in our country, it is very sad to say around 24%, 24.81, I think, that much percent of the, India is just having forest. Less than minimum required. 33% should be there, and we do have about 24%. We need to, save our nature, plant more trees, protect the natural species, animals. We need to change the personal attitude and practices toward the environment. Now, what is this? Personal attitude means many times we don't bother and we just say, what will happen if I will do that? Better, it is having an impact. If one person is doing, it is also having an effect and impact. So if we will start, I generally says in my class that only two people can change the world. One is me and one is you. I and you can change the world. We don't require the third person. This is the personal attitude. If I will look after the plants, if I will look after the nature can be protected. Don't let the things on others. Take the responsibility. And enable communities to care for their own environment. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. There are scheduled tribe peoples who lives in the forest region. There are people who want to protect the nature, and we must, let them do their responsible jobs, and we must protect our nature. These are the principles of sustainable development. So students, in conclusion, I just want to say, okay, use the 3 R's which I told you: reuse, recycle, and use the resources very carefully. Resources are not the free gift of nature, free gift of God. No, we need to be very careful while using the natural resource. Remember the thing, if we care for nature, then nature will also care for us. Follow the concept of sustainable development, and that is the main crux of the chapter. Thank you.